Hi, I'm Chelsea Hewsome, your host of the Lip Service and Lashes podcast. I'm an entrepreneur, author, speaker, and mom of two. And I'm so tired of women not feeling like they can show up as fully expressed versions of themselves. So here, we're all about that unapologetically, because honestly, we don't have time not to. Literally, because we're busy as F moms and entrepreneurs, but also figuratively, because we don't know how much time we have on this planet, and we want to make an impact now. But if we're doing this, we're making it real vibes only. So let's get inspired, laugh our asses off, quite possibly cry, and feel like you're sitting on the couch with your bestie and a glass of wine. I'm so happy you're here. Let's dive in. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Lip Service and Lashes podcast. I'm your host, Chelsea Hewsome. I'm so glad you're here. You guys, today we have my friend Lisa White. Lisa is a holistic IVF coach, national board certified occupational therapist, best-selling author of Hold On Baby, and the host of the Soulful IVF podcast. After navigating her own challenging fertility journey, she now helps women move through IVF with nervous system regulation, mindset work, and a grounded, soulful approach to motherhood. Lisa, I'm so glad you're here, girl.
Thanks, Chelsea. This is so fun. Thanks for having me.
Yes, I know. We've been talking about this forever. So I'm so glad you're coming on. And I just love you as a person. And we've been able to know each other now for a few years and at different events and stuff.
I got to hear you speak.
Yes, I know. Yes, so wonderful. Well, so tell us about your journey and how you got into this work first. Let's start there.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, no one prepares you for going through fertility challenges. I always wanted to be a mom and met my husband later in life. And when we were trying, we weren't having any luck. And a friend of mine suggested, you might want to get some testing done. So that's something I advise to anyone who's in the struggle, to really get some feedback on where things might not be functioning optimally. And we found out we had male factor issues. I also knew I had some polyps to be taken out. And so that led us down the path of IVF, IVF in vitro fertilization. It's talked about a lot more, and 1 in 6 individuals are going through it. And I was working at the time as an occupational therapist. I had been working with adults in rehab facilities and with kids in school settings, all different settings. And honestly, that foundation really supported me in helping me navigate through my own fertility path. I didn't realize at the time what a blessing it was. And so I just went about this so differently. And honestly, it was a calling to step into this work that I get to do now to support women through this path. So yeah, I have a lot I could share about the struggles we went through, and it took us 2 egg retrievals to get 1 healthy embryo. And that embryo became our daughter, who's 8 years old. And she is like the brightest light and gift that I get teary just thinking about how long of a path this was and how many are struggling. And I never thought I would ever step into this work. It truly was a calling to me to use my story to help use that pain and that struggle of what I overcame. And it never fully leaves you. I always say that our fertility challenges, they test us, they challenge us, and they transform us. And it transformed me for the better. It's one of the biggest blessings of my life. So I have turned what I went through into this new calling. I wouldn't have written the book, started the podcast, all of the things, coaching, if it weren't for what I went through. So it's just like a huge gift in my life.
Well, thank you for sharing. And yeah, you're like, I didn't ask for this, but look at what this struggle now on the other side. You have a beautiful daughter, this beautiful business that you're impacting. You're helping women that truly need you and need all of this support. So I love how you've taken that struggle and made something beautiful of it. And you're giving so much hope to so many. That's amazing. So talking about IVF, let's dive in. What does this do emotionally to women that no one really talks about?
It strips you away at your core because you honestly lose a piece of yourself if you let it. I always say, if we let it. it requires us to step into a kind of a new identity. And the book I wrote, it's called Hold On Baby. It's holding on to you first. I'm so passionate about spreading this message of not losing you, because it takes like such a strong, like whole woman to navigate this path. And for guys too, like it emotionally impacts them as well. It's life changing, it's life altering. And so every area of your life is really impacted. A lot of people don't think about that, but your relationships with your partner, with yourself, with your coworkers, with your friends, you often feel left behind. Financially, it's very expensive to go down this path. Emotionally, the waiting, the unknown, the isolation. A lot of people don't talk about this. That's why I strive to create these safe spaces to hold all the emotions. And I think they're all so needed and valid. We don't want to like dismay, like count anything out, because it's such a personal path. We're all experiencing it differently, yet there are universal emotions that we all face. So the overwhelm, it's like a whole nother language, learning the lingo of this path. Abbreviations. I mean, you go into a consultation with a doctor and it's like, oh my gosh, like it's just, it can be so like mind blowing. You're like, what am I doing? What have I just gotten into?
Saying?
And you're left in this like world of unknown and uncertainty. So, yeah, trust. You're challenged with how much can I trust? How much can I let go? I always talk about how important it is. How much are we holding on and how much are we letting go? That's what this path is. It is a roller coaster of the highs and the lows. And, you know, I've helped women who are navigating this during COVID. So there's like other, you know, life altering events going on, factors. And I just think like this is a path that it really is life altering in so many ways. You don't know what you're about to get on when you jump on this ride. And I do believe in doing it differently. But the emotions, getting back to that question, I mean, it can bring you to your knees when you want nothing more than to be a mom, to grow your family. Maybe you're going through secondary infertility too. You know, you might have a child and going through secondary infertility. There's all different paths. So it's just like this. I could just go on and talk about some of this for so much. It's just like there's like a lot of highs that, how do I want to say this? The lows are low, the highs are high. I mean, I'm all about keeping that joy alive, but like allow yourself to go to the depths of that pain too. So it's finding that like capacity of how much can I hold? How much can I navigate through? And that's what I really do, help guide women to stay in that like whole place, to expand your capacity to like ride this the best you can, you know, and optimize your chances of it working out.
Well, infertility too. I've had a lot of well, and I love that you brought up this secondary infertility too. I've had a lot of friends go through that, interesting enough, right? And people, maybe they got pregnant right away the first time. A few of them did. And then they're just like, assume, well, the next is going to be just the same, right? Yeah. Okay. So you kind of like started into some of my other questions, which is perfect. So how do you balance the hope and surrender without feeling defeated? Like, can you talk about that? And you call it like the manifesting mama. Question. So how do you invite people to shift that?
It's a personal choice to decide, I want to go about this differently. Being really intentional about what your focus is, what you're aiming for. You want to be a mom, you want IVF to work out. And there's an element of surrendering to the outcome, to the how. How is this all going to work out? And that's part of manifestation, right? We have this vision for our life and this goal, and helping women step into an aligned place to become that energetic match to manifesting your desires. It's so key, but it's like, we don't want to hold on too tightly. That's where we can like create more of like a kink in the flow. If that, you know, resonates with people. So it's like stepping into this, holding that intention, holding that aim. Like, this is happening for me. Like, my mantra going through IVF was always expect something wonderful to happen. And so that was this energy and this frequency. And that's the vibe of the manifesting mama, is like, we are calling in our desires. We are trusting this is all happening for us, not to us. And we're letting go of any control of any force, which is really one of the most challenging things, right? A lot of women I support who are on this path, they've made things happen. They're go-getters, they're achievers, right? Ambitious women.
Yeah.
And so this is one area you cannot make happen. We can't force this. And it really does require the opposite kind of energy. So when you step into a place of the surrender, which again, I know is very challenging, but it can be an invitation to soften through this, to bring in more joy, to keep living our life and expanding our vessel to receive more. That's really what it's about. So when you're a manifesting mama, that's what I call my ladies. It's like we are, and it applies to like multiple areas of our life too, you know? Like other good things come, like when we are stepping into a frequency of fun and joy and playfulness, creativity, pleasure, right? Like you get it, you know? Yep. So.
Yes. Oh, totally. It is funny. Like I'm kind of I like to control things and I'm not spontaneous, but it's what you said is we're not worrying about, we're calling it in. It's going to happen, but we aren't in charge of worrying about the how.
We don't know.
That is not on us, right? Yeah. So it's like, keep aligned with, it's going to happen.
Totally.
Stop
and I just want to say,
trying to control or block.
I have had clients where no matter all the
or you know what I mean? You're visualizing that.
All the intention, all the heart, all the love, everything. Sometimes it just doesn't happen. And I want to like make that real for people to hear that too. And I think getting to a place where you just know in your heart, I've given it all. I've done everything. And getting to that quiet place of acceptance of like, okay, like I still feel peace within. Like that is still success in my eyes. For sure. You know, there are multiple paths to parenthood. If, egg donor path, embryo donor path, adoption, surrogacy, there's so many different ways, right? And that's such a personal decision. I just want to like acknowledge that because it's such a deeply personal thing that like we can't make it happen. We hope it will. But yeah.
Yes. And maybe if it doesn't naturally happen.
Yeah. We hope. Yes. And maybe if it doesn't naturally happen or physically happen for you, then you can look elsewhere. There are definitely other options, right? And what you said too, I mean, I think we're similar with this, but like when we're in the flow and you said joy and play versus the force and then you just are immediately blocking stuff,
so much
right?
doing.
And you're like, hi, gotta take a step back.
We're doing shots. We're going to appointments,
recenter,
right? Up our hoo-ha, like we are checked. We are just like, it is, you're poked and prodded, and it is like constant appointments and monitoring. Yeah. And so I invite this other kind of energy of like, we get to be and keep living our life and doing those things that bring us joy and pleasure, and coming to our appointments with like this vibe of, I don't need to do anymore. We don't need to do more. Like, because you could go crazy with the diets and do this and all these extra things. And so my belief is really kind of how can we simplify through this and make this a bit simpler, more fun.
Yeah, because you really are by this process adding a lot to your plate. And sometimes when we just are getting overwhelmed, you need to step back.
Yeah, because you really are by this process adding a lot to your plate. Yeah. And sometimes when we just are getting overwhelmed, you need to step back.
If we don't feel comfortable going to the baby
take some
shower,
things off your plate that don't need to be there, right?
For my mental
but that's hard
health,
as women.
I'm going to have to like
we like to keep adding things.
And most people totally understand. And sometimes you don't have to give a reason. Like a no is a no.
Yes.
Right. Story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. We don't need some elaborate, string of, events. They're like, no, period. That is a complete sense. No, thank you. You can still be kind, but yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, and I'm sure that is a struggle too when you want that baby so badly and you're seeing all these women around you, maybe all your friends from high school or college, having babies, that is hard. So setting those boundaries of like,
and you also
you
don't owe
don't
everyone your
need to
story.
go
Brene
torture
Brown always
yourself
says,
and be at
like,
those baby showers sometimes.
share
That if
with
it might
those
just
who've
do
earned
more
the right
emotional
to hear your
damage to you at
story.
that
It's almost
point.
like, you know, some people are an open book and want to share everything and online, but I also like believe in there's a real gift and a power in kind of keeping things like personal to maybe a small circle and like not outsourcing all of your energy.
And if you want to tell those people, great. But like, and there is an option to kind of keep it close. For sure.
Yeah. There's power in sharing too, but yes, it's like,
And if you feel, if you want to tell those people, great. But like, you can, there is an option to kind of keep it close for sure.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
For sure. But it has to align with what you as a person, just because this girl over here is sharing everything doesn't mean you have to. It's only, if it's aligned. Let's see. Okay. So how did this experience in your life and other setbacks or challenges that you've gone through,
too, when I was going
how did that
IVF,
reshape how
I was also
who
faced
you became
with
as a woman?
my mom getting sicker and sicker. And so that was such an interesting place to find myself, where I'm striving to be a mom and then seeing my own mom's health declining, like that full circle moment. And so I was living this like cycle of life right in front of my eyes. You know, I saw my mom in and out of the hospital. She had a respiratory condition for many years. She was getting sicker and sicker. I looked to her as a source of inspiration to help me navigate really hard times. And one of her big teachings to me was we can't control what happens to us in our life, but we can control how we react to things. And breathing for her, just like the simplest thing that we all take for granted, being able to breathe, was like her biggest struggle. And navigating through that grief while wanting to become a mom. And it was like, this like walking this line of optimism, kind of guarding my heart, feeling excitement for like my future and what's to come, but also grieving like she might not be around very long, you know? So she passed right before my daughter's first birthday. She got to be there, and just navigating through all of that, like, was like a really hard time in my life, but it gave me like a really unique perspective that like, I know I can get through just about anything. You know, it gave me this like inner strength and this like courage to face death, like right in front of me, to celebrate those in my life, like getting teary here. You know, just, I think that just like enriched my life in such a way that made IVF and like having our daughter that much sweeter.
To go through this incredible sadness and grieving to appreciate it even more.
Yeah. And there's beauty. I always say like there's beauty.
You had to go through this incredible sadness and grieving.
There's beauty
to
in her passing,
appreciate it
and I
even
feel
more.
so connected
This
to
beauty
her,
of your daughter.
This is her symbol behind me is like a grasshopper. That was like her spirit sign to me. Seeing that, and like it's all about, you know, moving forward in life and trusting your inner voice. And she would always tell me that apparently grasshoppers like respond to sound vibrations. And so just like, I feel this deep connection, to that animal and, all the signs and serendipity. I and even the painter who did this painting behind me, I know people listening probably can't see, but, I met this random guy in a restaurant, and I'll just keep it short, but I was leaving, and he did some artwork in this restaurant, and he brought up his phone to me, and he goes, "Oh, I see your daughter really liked my lions. Thank you. That was so nice of her to like compliment my art." And I was like, "Oh yeah, of course. We love it." And he's like, "I'm just curious what other animals she likes." And I said, "Well, she likes tigers and different things." This was like a few years ago. And he goes, "Well, I just have to ask, does she like grasshoppers?" I was like mind blown out of the blue, this man. And he goes, he brought up his phone. He shows me the picture, and he's like, "I just have to ask you, I feel called to give you this painting I did." And I'm like, "You've got to be kidding me." I just burst into tears. I'm like, that is my mom's sign.
Oh
so
my
again,
gosh.
that like full circle of just like, we're always being guided. Like, I know I'm never alone. I felt that way through my fertility path. I still feel that way today. And so being open to how signs and symbols, synchronicity can show up in your life, that's a huge lesson that I carry with me.
Yes.
And you can't make that up.
Your mother.
Yeah. Oh, thanks.
I
That's you cannot make that up. That was absolutely
do.
your mother. And that's, oh my gosh, that gives me chills. That's so crazy. Oh, I love it. I believe in signs and animals too. You know, we have these different things. One of my friends has owls. I a lot of times when I'm like kind of asking for signs, I'm driving and I see like a clump of like 100 birds just flying. And now I've taught my sons to look at that. And I'm like, okay, someday down the road, when you're older and you're driving and you see this huge clump of birds, you're going to know that's mommy. You know what I mean? I'm like, or I'll be a deer staring in your window and like, weird, there's a weird deer staring in my window. That's mom. You know what I mean? It is, your energy's out there. And I love you honor her so well. And you know, you now being such an amazing mother. So yeah. Well, and I'm sorry, you know, I know that it's never easy, but the lessons you've taken, and she is watching over you. Absolutely. And your daughter. Let's see. So can you tell us more about like energetics and that work? Because maybe people listening don't know what that is. I think it's super interesting.
It's just so often overlooked.
Tell like
on our fertility path.
What is it? Kind of the brief overview, but then how do you
and fertility
use
treatment
that?
specifically? It's very medical based, and so the approach that I brought was in the energetics. This is within our power. No one can control our energy, how we're showing up to these appointments, the mindset we're going to carry with us through this. I call it a miracle mindset. That is an energy of, I'm going to have fun wherever I go. I'm going to make the best of wherever I'm at. I'm inviting good things. You know, it's not toxic positivity, but it's like an attitude of like, again, that mantra, expecting good things to come your way. So energy, it's a frequency, it's a vibration, and it's, you know, when you feel that electric kind of buzzing feeling, you know, right? You know, when you're in the energy and the flow state, right? Like the ideas come, the like opportunities come, the right supports come. And so as I look back on my path and how I was living, I was tapped into this energy of like openness, for example, this openness of I'm ready. I'm open to any kind of supports that are going to come my way. I'm open to what ignites that fire in me. And I said yes to a book club that I was a part of that was hugely transformative for me going through my fertility path. So that was one group of supports that really was an unexpected gift, because I wasn't really a part of many like fertility groups per se. It was like some online stuff, but this was an in-person sisterhood. And so the energy of us reading these like empowered personal development books, doing these live events together, cultivating this frequency of like, we're all rising together, and no matter what your challenges are, you know, this is the energy I wanted to be in, of like, we're all rising higher. So energetics is, I feel like, one of the biggest missing parts through one's fertility path. And when you decide I'm going to step into that, it's, you know, it can be looked at very spiritual, very soulful. I mean, my podcast, Soulful IVF, this is what I strive to bring, is a unique way of going about this. So a holistic approach, right? I got Reiki certified. I was doing Reiki through IVF, and Reiki, oh my gosh, what a gift that's been. That's all about energy. That is tuning into that inner aligned state. And so many who may be listening, you know, you might be aware of 7 core chakras, right? From the root to the crown. And so that is a key. That is one of the keys to tapping in, turning up your fertility, literally your creative life force. And when you are like lit up, like all the lights are on, you know, and you identify where there's like no real misalignment, then it's just like enhances every other area of your life. So, the energetics of IVF is a course that I created, and based on what I lived through, and really stepping into, for example, feeling really grounded and safe and secure, like that feeling of safety in your body is so foundational to going through this. So that's in the root chakra. And as we move up, it's like, you know, stepping into, say, your solar plexus, your power center, really feeling powerful through this, not giving away or outsourcing your power. Your heart, right? A space of love and forgiveness. I can go all the way through, you know, but it goes up to the crown, and it's shifting into a space of trust and surrender and letting go. So these are applicable to whether you're calling in a baby or whether you're wanting to birth something else in your life, you know?
Well, I love that. How obviously when you're going through this, yes, you put that whole side, but I I love your bringing the mindset and all these other pieces more holistic in it, because that gives you kind of more tools to use as you're going through this, right?
Well, I love that, how you're obviously, when you're going through this, yes, you have the medical side, but I love you're bringing the mindset and all these other pieces more holistic in it, because that gives you kind of more tools to use as you're going through this, right? As you're navigating it. Can you speak to, because I've talked to quite a few people that maybe had their first baby through IVF, and then they naturally get pregnant with the second. Is it because maybe they weren't trying, or they weren't worried, were they maybe blocking sometimes it the first time? Or what are your thoughts on that? It's so interesting to me.
But I think with the nervous system, like when we're in that state of trying, I don't even like the word trying to conceive. It's that like trying energy of forcing or like doing, but it's almost like preparing. I would rather say preparing to conceive.
Yeah, there is no explanation.
That frequency of we don't want to force. So sometimes our nervous system, when it gets to that place of that rest period where it's like you've surrendered, you've stopped treatment, maybe you've let go. I don't have an explanation for that, but oftentimes the magic does like just sort of like things just happen. I mean, there are women who can get pregnant later in life, and maybe they thought like, oh, I'm not, done trying. And, but yeah, I do have stories and clients that have gone through that where it's like, maybe they're stepping into the adoption process and then, they get pregnant, right?
Yeah.
You hear different things like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. We've gone through all this to have a baby, and then another one this way. Like it's just magical.
Yeah, it's hard to say, but I think our
system, right?
Gets into a place
it's very interesting. It's a really cool, like what a miracle that would be. Wow, we've gone through all this to have a baby, and then another one this way.
So like having that
just magical
peace on your path and still living your life, not putting your life on hold. I feel strongly about that
for sure,
and invite individuals to really keep living. If we're trying to call in life, we want to be living fully too.
For sure. And you can't, if you're stressed out and you're like forcing and you're, you said like just trying, and the love is gone out of it, or the enjoyment of life. And that, it a lot of times might block things, but
for sure. For sure. And you can't, if you're stressed out and you're like forcing and you're, like you said, like just trying, and the love is gone out of it, or the enjoyment of life. And that, it a lot of times might block things, but when you're living in the flow and the play and the joy,
my website is IVF.
It's a different way of being.
That's the
so
same.
I love that
Instagram,
you focus
on
LinkedIn.
That.
All right, girl. Will you tell everyone where we can find out more about you? Tell us where to find your book, where to listen to your podcast, all the things.
I also have a YouTube channel
how we can support you.
My interviews that I do with guests, and thank you. Yeah, I would love to connect with anybody who's navigating this path and be a support to them. So thanks for this opportunity.
Well, I will link everything in the show notes too, but go connect with Lisa. You just have this wonderful, kind, inviting, safe energy, and I just around you. I love it, even virtually.
Thanks, Chelsea.
Yes. Well, and I will link everything in the show notes too, but go connect with Lisa. You just have this wonderful, kind, inviting, safe energy. And every time I'm around you, I love it. Even virtually, I'm like, oh, I love Lisa. So you're doing amazing things, and you're literally changing people's lives. So keep going, and everyone, please go check her out. If you're listening, maybe you're not going through this. I pretty much guarantee that you know someone who has or is going through it. Like she said, it's 1 in 6 potentially more. Yeah. So, if you're listening to this and it maybe doesn't directly apply to you, like share this with someone that you know. So thank you again. We so appreciate you, girl. All right, everyone. Thank you for listening. Always remember, no BS, just real vibes, and we'll see you next time. If you loved the episode, share it on Instagram and tag me so I can say thank you and meet you, or share it with a girlfriend who you know would love this too. Always remember, no BS, just real vibes. See you next time on Lip Service and Lashes.